Hey guys, welcome back to Hugs and Honey. Today we're going to talk about a more adult topic, although you will probably experience this as well. And I'm just shuffling some cards. I'm not sure if we're going to get to these or not because I wanted to talk about something else today that's just kind of been a running theme in my life and in my clients' lives lately. And it's this theme of jealousy. Jealousy is a really awful feeling, isn't it? Have you ever been jealous? Sometimes there's sort of a difference between jealousy and envy. Um, um, Jealousy is more, let me see what the difference is. Well, maybe I won't even go into that. One of them is more for material things, and the other is more for sort of emotional things. So jealousy is really when you feel like you want what the other person has. So envy, like you're envious of their job, or you're envious of their car, or you're envious of their house, or something like that. Whereas jealousy is you wish you had what they had. um, with a person. Usually it's a relationship, usually. So you're jealous of the strong ties that your sister has with your parents, or maybe that you like a boy or a girl at school and they like your best friend or something like that. Like, this is kind of painful emotions that adults and young people feel. So if you're a tween or a teen, I'm sure that you've probably felt some of this as well at times, and it can come up in like a lot of different times and different circumstances. There's sort of different types of jealousy. The jealousy that you have for a boyfriend or girlfriend, if they are, you feel like they're liking someone else, and you don't feel worthy. You feel like you wish that that you were different, that you could have all of their attention, that they would only like you. It's just a really awful feeling. And like I said, there's different kinds. So the kind that you feel for a boyfriend or girlfriend is going to be different than the kind you feel for a sibling or a parent or a teacher or a friend. So they're different shades of the same color, though. And usually the color associated with jealousy, well, with jealousy, I would say, envy is green. Usually you're green with envy. Jealousy to me shows up more red, like anger. Like, if I feel, and so what I wanted to talk about was the difference between intuition and jealousy, or not necessarily the difference, but the interrelatedness of jealousy and intuition. Sometimes when I have a very strong intuition. And so when my intuition is triggered, when it starts to tell me something, it's possible that I would get jealous about someone because I believe something that my intuition has told me. And I've learned that my intuition is correct. So it's sort of learning how to deal with the feelings of the result of the information that you get when you receive information from your intuition. Sometimes it's information that you don't really want to have. And you kind of wished you didn't know sometimes, because the information can be really painful. Usually it's the truth. And if you were to confront the other person, excuse me, I got hiccups all of a sudden. If you were to confront the other person, they would probably deny it, right? And it could literally be happening in front of your own face, and yet they would deny it. And so that's called gaslighting. That's called basically like someone saying, like, you're crazy, you're seeing things, like, that's not true. And in your heart of hearts it's true. That's a really frustrating situation. So, and really what jealousy is it's a trigger to a painful wound that we have usually from earlier on in our lives. So, like when we're children, it could be a wound that we have as a result of seeing the way that our parents treated each other, like the way that our fathers treated our mothers, or something that happened to us sort of early on in life, or early on in a relationship. Maybe we got cheated on. Maybe, someone went behind our back and kind of felt like we felt betrayed by them or something. So there's so many different times that jealousy can come up, and it's such an awful feeling. Like, it's just such an awful feeling. And so really the way that we can think about jealousy and start to understand jealousy is to accept jealousy. So that's the first thing, right? That's always where we go first, is to, once we're conscious of something, to start to accept it. So click like, click share, comment below before we continue. Go ahead, share it with your friends, because everyone feels jealous at some point in time. And it's an awful feeling. And to learn sort of tools and tricks or to change your mindset about it a little bit, and try to understand it a little bit better so that you're not so reactionary. Because usually what happens when we are jealous is that we, like, all of our rationale, all of our logical mind goes out the window and we become crazy people. It's almost like you can no longer behave rationally, because you now have been sort of blinded or flooded with this hormone, really, that is not allowing you to see clearly. So it's like when you're angry. Anger and jealousy are very closely related. Like I said, the color for me, jealousy is red, and envy is green, but jealousy is red. It's like, it's fiery, it's like angry. And there have been times where I would get jealous because it's happened to me before. I've had a couple of experiences of being cheated on, and some really kind of traumatic things have happened in my sort of younger years. And even now to this day, this kind of stuff is still somewhat happening to some degree. And it's still just as painful. So what I now do is just accept the fact that I am jealous. And then and then I recognize that jealousy is really an injury that I have from my own past that is being triggered by this situation, whether it's circumstances or just situational. And I'm getting triggered by it, and it's bringing back all of these memories of the time that I was injured by a situation, by someone betraying me. And so these feelings are coming up of, like, wanting to protect the situation, wanting to carve out my own sort of identity and connection with that person, and then feeling like I didn't, like, not sure whether or not that connection is real or true, and feeling very, like, protective of the connection, and really wanting to just not accept anyone else who has a similar connection with this person, because I read energy. And so when I see the energy getting taken away from me, from directed towards me, it makes me really uncomfortable and makes me really nervous that they're going to take the energy away from me, and that perhaps I'll be abandoned. Perhaps they'll leave me. Perhaps I'll be rejected. Perhaps, I'll be alone. Perhaps they're going to choose someone else over me. Does that mean that I am less valuable? Does that mean that I'm not awesome? Does that mean that the other person is better than me? No. The short answer is no, it doesn't. Um, it just means that, we're all going through life. We all have different lessons and different learnings that we are experiencing in life, and it's happening at different times, at different levels. And so jealousy is an opportunity. It's a weird way to look at it, I know, but jealousy is really an opportunity for us to sort of look at some old wounds that have hurt us, that have made us feel protective and defensive and careful with the people that we're with, and somewhat angry. And just to become aware of the fact that we're being triggered by this. And then it's a good way to sort of analyze, does this person do this to me all the time? Does this person put me in this situation all the time where I feel like this jealousy is being triggered? Because if I'm constantly feeling triggered and jealous by this person, why is that happening? And are they doing it on purpose? Because sometimes people are just doing it just to get your attention and just to kind of like hook you so that you don't leave, because they know that it is bothering you. And when it bothers you, it's almost harder to pull away, and protect your energy. So this is what we need to start thinking about, is that if someone is continuing to make us jealous, we need to think about whether or not we should have them in our lives. Because what are they really bringing to our lives? Are they just bringing chaos and this feeling of like, jealousy for me resides in my stomach, in my third chakra, right above my belly button, which is my solar plexus area. That is my personal power. And it makes me feel like I've been kicked in the stomach, like I want to throw up. And that I just get like a sick feeling, basically, the sick feeling of jealousy that resides in my tummy area. And so do I really want to have a friend or a person, a partner, a lover, a boyfriend, girl, a female friend, in my life that is causing this feeling for me? Because remember, going back to many, many episodes ago, and just many episodes, we can choose who we keep in our lives and who has earned the right to be in our lives, because it's a right to be here. It's a right to know me, to be my friend, to share my energy, because my energy is good. And I only want to surround myself with good, positive energy. And if I'm feeling like that vibration is not in harmony with someone else, then it's best for me and for the other person to leave that relationship, to leave that situation that is causing me disharmony and discord in my life, and really like shakes up my life and just makes me feel yucky. But when I remove myself from that, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot cleaner and clearer, and like I can think straight, like I can relax a little bit, like I'm not being triggered all the time. And so this is the process that we go through, learning about jealousy, learning about our intuition and how jealousy and intuition are connected. Oftentimes the intuition will sort of tell us that something is happening that doesn't feel right. And then the jealousy usually comes in with like a rage, like a rampage, like, I know I'm right, and I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to stop this from happening. And it's a very destructive feeling, this feeling of jealousy. And so the one thing to sort of honor is that our intuition is correct. But then it's up to us to sort of decide where on our healing journey are we as it relates to what is triggering the jealousy. And if we can have compassion and forgiveness for what is triggering the jealousy, we can go back and heal that so that we aren't continuing to put ourselves in situations where we are constantly being jealous because we're removing ourselves from that situation. We are ending friendships or relationships that are really triggering and not healthy for us. So jealousy is actually a gift in disguise, as are most of these uncomfortable emotions that we talk about and we feel. And so we just want, if we can look at it like that, and we can look at it as like little detectives trying to figure out what jealousy is, where it stemmed from in our lives, where it's rooted, and then offering compassion and love for that moment in time that sort of created this pattern in our lives. And if we can go back and heal that moment, then we can kind of, bring that healing forward on our timeline up until the present moment and infiltrate all aspects of our past and into our future, this healing that we're offering ourselves. I believe that the jealousy will stop and we will start to make different decisions in our lives as to who we allow into our sort of our lives and into our sort of energy field, and we become more careful about who is there and who we need to ask to go. So I hope that helps you guys. And I hope that you're not really experiencing any jealousy, but if you are, that is, a way of thinking about it that is healing, that is helpful, and will help give you clarity. And hopefully, you are not alone when it comes to jealousy. You really are not alone, and I'm sorry you're feeling jealous, but it's good to kind of become aware of it and to learn how to manage it and heal it and kind of get yourself out of it. I see you, I hear you, I'm here for you, and I love you. See you tomorrow. Bye.